What the fuck? Okay. Already getting in trouble. Okay, amazing. Amazing work. Hi, everyone. We're gonna be starting soon. I'm just, like, trying to set up. Am I in trouble on TikTok? Why am I not able to stream on TikTok? That's crazy if I'm not able to stream on TikTok. Because we're literally going to be going over 9 on dot. Ayy. It's still too high? Oh my god. Hold on. Let me see if I'm able to fix this. This sucks. I can't believe I'm not able to, like, stream on TikTok. Hold on. Hee. It's telling me that my bitrate is too high, so hold on, you guys. Oh. Let's go to... I want it to be like too crazy. I don't know why I'm not able to... Hey, we got it. Or at least I think. I'm not sure if I'm able to stream on TikTok right now. Is my Twitch working? I don't know if my Twitch is working. I don't know why I can't even see chat. What the fuck? Why can't I see the chat? Like I said, we're gonna be starting soon. I'm just like doing my shit. I'm trying to figure these things out. I'm trying to make sure all my T's are crossed. Huh? What I don't like is though I can't see nobody talking, which I do not like, but you know. Oh, finally I can see everybody's chat. Yay! Sup, fam? My only thing is, am I able to stream also? Twitch inspector? Yeah, you know, fucking whatever. You can see my shit, Twitch. Yay! Yes, it is. Oh, that's amazing. I can see it through Twitch. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. The only thing that really sucks though is that I can't see, I don't think I can see the TikTok thing on the TikTok chat on my own stuff, which sucks, but you know, we're gonna just be here straight chilling. So I can see the Twitch. I can. What was that? What was that? Oh my god! What was that? I heard noise. That startles me. Hey, bestie. Hey, you. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you's doing good. I hope you's straight chilling. Hey, Biggie. Hi. Hi. How you beautifuls? I hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna start streaming soon. My only thing is that I'm trying to get everything ready. Plus, don't judge me, but I'm also gonna be doing my homework. I didn't realize that I have homework. So, you know, there's that too. I have homework to do. But it's gonna be really easy, so you know. Oh, Johnny, thank you. Thank you, babes. I appreciate you. By the way, if you are able to see me on TikTok, I believe you can get um what is it called? Oh, what's my thing called? You can change the quality. You can change the quality. I think. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure you can change the quality. Just ate dinner. Nice. What did you eat? I got myself some pizza. I ate some real quick ass pizza. What the heck? Why can't I see people's comments? I'm so sorry, Biggie. I'm so sorry. I don't think I'm gonna be able to also see the chat from TikTok, which sucks because, like, hello, we're gonna be watching and seeing shit from TikTok. So I would love to see the thing from frickin' TikTok. What the hell? Stupid. The stupid. Baked sweet potato with roasted Brussels sprouts and some vegan chicken. Mmm, sounds delicious. That sounds like a mighty good meal. Though, I don't know about sweet potato. Sweet potato? I don't know about that one, babe. I don't know about that one. Let me see how the hell, if I can see the freaking chat. Let me see if I can fix the chat settings where I can freaking see TikTok. If not, then shit. We out here. Well, this sucks. I wanted to see what people be saying on TikTok, but oh well. Oh no, not that one. I want to close all 6. Kidding me? Fucking kidding me? I'm gonna see if I can at least see y'all on the chat thing on my phone, because I don't like not being able to fucking. Me ever being mean to someone. Sorry. But like I said, I'm also going to fucking Oh, thank you, Carlos. Thank you. Hey, back. How was your day? I'm good. We're gonna be seeing some shit on TikTok today. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and fucking start the stream. What the fuck? Can you guys see me? Hey, hi. What the fuck? Oh, why am I so big? What the hell? Hi, you guys. There you are. Yes, I is here. Don't mind the hair. I just took a shower. I took a little mini shower. Oh, and look at my shirt. My shirt is so cute. It got bows on it. I got little tiny bows on it. I think it's so cute. Why am I so big? But hi, you guys. We're going to be seeing some shit on blah, blah, blah. On TikTok. Hopefully I can get it, because that's like what. There we go. Hee hee. We're gonna be watching this today, cause this is some shit, bro. This is some shit. We're gonna be watching the interview of this guy. So this guy is the what shit? This shit. We're gonna be watching this guy. Oh, that's too big. Again, too big. Stop being stupid. Every day it's a struggle. No murder documentaries? Hell no. We tried watching So we tried watching that one with the lady, and she was just like batshit crazy. This one is not going to be so like insane. Just, well, kind of. Okay, so little background story. If you don't know what the title, if you didn't see the title of today, the title of today was James Charles slept with Kayla's abusive boyfriend. And it is just as horrible as it sounds. James Charles slept with Kayla's abusive boyfriend. And he is currently, so to kind of be a little bit up to speed with what is going on, this guy is good friends with this other person named Devin. Devin is the abusive boyfriend of Kayla, and Kayla, it was pretty graphic. This right here is pretty graphic. I mean, okay, to be fair, this video is not as graphic as the actual stuff. Like, if you guys follow me, which yes you do, but if you haven't seen, I posted it on my story once, the audio of, it's me, Alex. Hey, Alex. But I posted the audio of so let me get this straight. A gay man fooled around with a bi man. I'm horrible with explaining. Let me fucking try again. Okay, take two. Hello, we're going to watch this interview of this guy named Be Better. This is his company, Be Better. He interviews people, and he's interviewing this other person named, whatchamacallit, I don't know what his name is, but he's friends with this guy named Evans Thompson, and Evans Thompson was the abusive ex of Kayla. Kayla went through so much crap with Evan. Kayla got hurt, berated, like just so much was going on. So much was going on in that relationship. Just know he wasn't a good guy. He literally like abused Kayla. And after all of that kind of happened and Kayla just finally decided to move on and break up with him, by the way, he's friends with James, like Kayla is friends with James Charles. They've been friends before their relationship, before her relationship with Evans. James Charles, knowing that Kayla was abused by Evans, her toxic ex, still decided to fool around and sleep with him. And he's on Evan's side. He's on Evan's side, which I think is insane. It's so crazy. So just know this. James Charles, who only knew Kayla, who is the victim in all of this, decided to back up the abusive ex. This guy in the white cardigan, he was friends from the abusive ex. All he heard was the abusive ex's story, not knowing who Kayla is. And then after, everything that happened and kind of went down, he decided to go public and do this interview so that we can get the facts straight, more or less, because this guy has screenshots, this guy has text messages, this guy's seen the snaps and the videos that James Charles and Kayla's ex Evan have sent each other. And Evan said he was straight. Evan said he was straight, but he was fooling around with James Charles. And it is also alleged from what I have seen, because I don't know, right? Like, I don't know everything that's been going on. But from everything I have seen, James Charles is apparently paying people to not talk about this. Because out of everyone who I have seen that knows something, hasn't come forward. Only on my For You page specifically, I've only seen 3 people talk about it, which is Be Better, the guy in the black cardigan, this guy in the sweater, and in the white sweater, and this random this other girl from Australia. Like, I don't know why the fuck she's involved. She's she called both of these people. She called everyone out. She's like, by the way, just a reminder, hey America, did you know that your beloved James Charles is sleeping with Kayla's abusive ex and is flying him out to his house? Like, I'm in Australia, yet why the fuck do I know about this? I'm like, why are you involved, girl? But after I kind of went on to her and I reposted her video because I was like, what? Like, this is how I found out about everything, right? I found out through her. Just imagine how crazy that shit is, okay? The fact that I found out through an Australian girl who's just crashing out because she has her own drama. Like, she's going through her own things. She's going through her own situation. And because she's going through it, I think she's just like, she got tired of, I guess, explaining so much that she's like, hey, by the way, this is going on as well. James Charles is giving people hush money. I love that, though. He's so down bad. The thing is that I've seen pictures of Evans, right? And we all know how big James Charles is. We all know how big James Charles is. Like, James Charles, he's a really big guy. Like, he has like 40 million followers or 45 million followers on TikTok. He has like, how many I don't even know how many followers on YouTube. I'm assuming maybe around 20 million. Like, he has a really big following. Like, this is a big, like, a big influencer. And influencers care a shit ton about their reputation because there's one blemish on their reputation, or there's a scandal that happens and they could get canceled and their career is over and people will turn on them. Like, no matter how thick-skinned you are, it's just hard. It's just really hard to get so much hate from so many freaking people, I'm too employed for this. I'll be back tomorrow for the murder documentary. Bitch, good, then go. Nobody's telling you to be here. But anyway, it's just so crazy. It's so crazy. And And there's also a video. I also saw a video of James Charles offering the victim $250,000 to shut up, to not talk, to not say anything. Oh, thank you, babes. Which I think is so wild. It's so wild. I don't know. But anyway, hold on. We're gonna play the video because, and while we're doing all of this, I'm also, hi Noah. I'm also going to be doing my homework. Because a bitch has to multitask, okay? A bitch be busy. You said, I'm too employed for this. I'll be here tomorrow. Fuck off, bitch. I'm watching this shit, and we're also going to be, and I'm also going to be doing my homework. So, get off it, babes. Get off it. But we're going to be watching this.
Zach for speaking with me and for coming all the way to do this interview. I also want to start by
reiterating some of the private conversations
Can you guys hear it?
had, which is in speaking on your firsthand experience in this entire situation, to remember that Kayla is at the heart of it, and to acknowledge the real gravity of what she went through, and to encourage every single person to watch her videos first and foremost before they watch this, because I just don't want anything that we're speaking about today to overshadow her story. And with all that being said, I just want to allow you the opportunity to introduce yourself and your relationship to that band.
Yes, so I'm Zach Sellers. I'm actually from Nashville,
Oh shit, my bad.
Tennessee. Me and Evan grew up in the same town, very small towns around
It's always
the suburbs,
Tennessee,
so it'll
bro.
be a suburb
It's
of
always
Nashville.
Tennessee.
We've always known of each other, but it's more of I knew of him, but never hung out with him. He come back from LA back in January. That's when him and Kayla had, taken a break, I believe, and that was more of a break. Once he came back to Tennessee, we immediately started actually hanging out because he reached out and was like, I want to get into modeling. Can you help me out with all of that? And he knew like I was in the modeling industry, so like he for sure wanted to like, me to like help him through it. So that's how it all become about.
Right. So like throughout the duration of your friendship with him, did you notice any red flags with him in the way that he behaved or anything looking back?
Looking back, believe it or not, I did not. There was times that it was always constant conversations of him saying, Zach, can you give me advice? Like, what do I do if Kayla goes public? Like, what do I need to do exactly? That kind of raised the little red flags because that was a constant question 24/7, to me every single time we would hang out. And I asked him, I was like, what is the worst that happened between you guys so I can give you the correct advice?
Mm-hmm.
And the worst that he had, told me during that time was they were very verbal. Never, nothing was never physical. There was one time he said that for his protection, he had to hold her against the wall so she would not harm him. So at that time, when I say that, I was manipulated, I believed, Evan's side. I believed at one point I did not know Kayla. I believed that she was, in the wrong. She was the evil person. Me looking back now, I know the true side.
Well, it's interesting that he was worried about Kayla going public, because then the question is, what are you going public with? And if you didn't do anything wrong, why would you be worried about that?
Right.
And then you mentioned also something about Reddit. He would tell you that not to check Reddit.
Yes.
Correct? Why did he say that?
So we would be in the car and he mentioned like, oh, I'm all over Reddit. So like that, I've never been like the type of person to get on Reddit. Like it was not even downloaded actually on my phone.
Scary place.
Yes, it's scary after I got on there. But after he had dropped me off one night, I was like, something was telling me I need to get on Reddit and I'm curious just to look up Evan Johnson. I look up Evan Johnson. The first picture I saw was Evan holding, a vape, and it was posted on his story. And I believe the wording was something around, guys, did you guys know that Kayla was a whore? And that's the first thing that popped up on Reddit. And I was like, okay, so I don't know if that was joking, but you still don't joke that way. Like, especially with your girlfriend, that's someone, you love. You're joking around that, and you keep going, it's deeper and deeper. So I started like, okay, and I asked him about the, scenarios, and he goes, there's just so many haters. Like, this is the reason why I did not want to be in the public eye. I did not want my relationship in the public eye. And at that time, you know, I'm not always been in the public eye. I'm on the backside of the modeling industry. So I
True.
was like, okay, I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
It can get pretty
So
muddied,
at
yeah.
what point did you officially stop being friends with him? Was that like a specific moment in time?
The day that Kayla released part 1
Oh shit, my bad.
of He Doesn't Love You, I watched it. I got to the end of it, and I cried by seeing that, seeing what she went through. It's heartbreaking. After,
Oh, she
it's
made a
just- it's
YouTube
so chills
video?
right now. I mean,
Well-
knowing that what it's in that video at the very end.
It's one of the most disturbing things I've ever watched, personally.
Yes.
And
Damn.
people have been saying all sorts of things. I think for the most part, she has a lot of support. But if you actually watch her videos, there's really no way to walk away from it feeling like she's lying or feeling like what happened wasn't extremely serious. And that's where it's frustrating, is some people just don't do the research.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to
True.
watch those videos.
Oh.
And you obviously did the right thing by cutting him off after you learned all of that.
So I did text him, you know, the day that she released it, after I got done watching it, and I texted him, WTF, I did not know you went that far, ... He come back with a long message, you know, still manipulating me, saying that she's over exaggerating, you know, there's a lot more to, you know, that message, but I just personally can't get into that message with legal matters, so I just want to, like, you know, elaborate kind of what the message was about, but not get in word for word.
That makes sense. And can you also talk about, there was a video that you had filmed of Evan where he was sort of responding to some of these allegations, and you still have that video on your Snapchat, correct?
That is correct.
Can you walk me through what happened before that, and then maybe just like summarize what he said in that video?
Absolutely. So he picked me up from my house, and we were supposed to be going downtown to make some Snapchat content for his Snapchat, because he was on a creator phone with Snapchat, and he had to post so many Snapchats.
He's always on fucking
And
Snapchat.
he didn't really have anyone, so he's like, Zach, will you go downtown? Let's go hang out. Like, we'll go to this hotel. You can see Nashville and all of this. Like, I'm from Nashville, so I'm well aware of these areas. And I was like, for sure, for sure. So we get down there, and he just gets very emotional, starts talking about, you know, him and Kayla's relationship. And when I say that,
So
I heard
all
about their relationship
unprovoked?
every day. I heard about it every single day. And there
Oh,
was new
hell
stuff,
no.
you know, slowly coming out.
That's tiring.
But there was an
Oh, I keep pausing this shit.
a really big influencer that was on the phone with him and was telling him that the best thing for him to do is to stay quiet, but go ahead and record some videos of him explaining his side of the story and the truth. And he says this is going to only help your case, so go ahead and get these recorded as soon as possible and have them. Well, I never sent these videos back to Evan because they were taken on my Snapchat and they were saved on my phone.
Oh shit.
He never once ever asked for them. I don't know if he was so dumb that he forgot about them. I honestly don't know.
Ah!
And what was he saying?
That's
in that
crazy.
video? Sort of justifying his behavior? Was it because I actually didn't watch the entire video? Maybe we can do that later because I actually meant to.
Yes,
Before we
absolutely.
start. It was like 10 minutes, right? And
Yes.
He was sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, just saying that Kayla was exaggerating. And
I saw that shit.
So
He
he's
posted
pretty
it
much beating around the bush without admitting, you know, things that he had done.
He posted
you know,
it.
was always mentioning it takes two to tango.
Yeah,
when I
he
say
did say
this
that.
man, like I wouldn't want to call him a man because he's not a man, but that boy was literally speaking about it takes two to tango, it takes two to tango. That right there, that saying, like I've really not heard it much, and he said, you know, he spoke on that, you know, saying so much. I was just thinking like, wow. But like another big thing in those videos, he continued to wanting to get his word out there that there is a big influencer that is currently telling him exactly what to do and giving him the best advice because this influencer has been through his own actions in the
James
past
Charles.
or something close to these
Let's
kind of
just-
things.
that garnered public scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
So then elaborating on that, in the videos that you've posted to TikTok, you've obviously alluded to there being some kind of a connection between James Charles and Evan Johnson. So can you elaborate a little bit on maybe the first time that you ever saw Evan Johnson and James Charles interacting?
Yes, absolutely. So the first
did that
time
even
was when
happen?
he came to my house and picked me up, And when I say he came to my house to pick me up, that was usually, he was always the driver. I mean, I drive, but if he's going to offer to drive, I'm going to be like, okay, come pick me up.
True.
So I went to get into Evan's car at
Passenger
my house when he had
princess.
come to pick me up because we were planning on to go downtown once again, to do some more content. And as soon as I opened the door, Evan was on FaceTime, and it just all got quiet. And I heard James's voice, and it just got quiet.
What the fuck?
And then they were in a conversation, while like I opened the door. So I get in the car, and shut the door. And James goes, "Oh, I'll let you guys go. Like if you're with friends, and definitely call me later so we can talk more about this." And then the next thing was, Evan goes, "No, we can finish up a little bit. We don't really have nothing crazy planned. We're just going downtown to mess around, take some Snapchat stuff."
Oh my
And then
god.
James comes back and was like, "Well, do you trust him, Evan?" And Evan at that time was like, "Absolutely. Like this is probably the only person I would trust. Like, hearing
They're not
and
even that close,
speaking
bro.
about any of this right here
What the
currently."
fuck?
At that time, I only knew Evan's side of the story. So
When you saw James Charles on FaceTime, did you know who he was?
by the voice, yes. And then I just looked over and it was James.
Right. Kind of hard to mistake him for someone else.
Yes.
Yeah. So there were other encounters. Was it like ongoing? And then also, were there any encounters where James was speaking specifically about Kayla?
Yes, there was. So that conversation that I actually, got in and interrupted, I now I have, caught on of why he was so like, do you trust him? Because they started picking up back on their conversation. And that's when James came back to Evan and was like, "Well, you didn't lose anything, Evan, out of this. If anything, you won. You got
What?
away from the psycho. She is the psychopath. Like,
And they're supposedly
you are not
friends.
the
What the
problem.
fuck?
She's the problem. She's been known to be
That's
the
fucked
problem.
up.
She has been known to lie. She has been also known to make up complete fake stories just to get clout and have you."
That's his friend. That's his friend. What the fuck? They're friends. And they're friends. Holy shit. Oh my god. Just imagine your friend was saying that shit about you behind your back. Oh my god. How down bad was this man for the PP? What the fuck? The cucumber is not that good, baby. What the hell?
Use. That's the only way. That's the only, that's the way she is today is how she's gotten by making up stories. I didn't know Kayla, so I was like, "Oh wow." Like, I'm just in the passenger seat just listening and
Oh
stuff.
my god, that's
And then he
crazy.
goes, "Evan, like I'm here like for you no matter what. Like whatever you need, let me know, call me." He says, "Also, when you get home later tonight, FaceTime me. I want you to FaceTime me." And he says, "If we need to sleep on the phone, we can. I'm here for you."
Wow. So were there other instances? Was it an ongoing thing where they were kind of constantly in communication?
They were in communication every single day. When I speak on that I was with Evan every single day, I was with Evan majority of every single day. The only time I was not with Evan was when he went to Miami and then when he went to California. The times that I was with him, James would use Instagram as his Snapchat. And I didn't know, like, was not aware, like, why does James not have Snapchat? Like, why is he using Instagram photos, sending back and
I
forth?
can tell you why he doesn't have Snapchat. Because he was caught texting 16-year-old boys on Snapchat. That's what he was canceled for.
Wow.
So I assume
Yeah.
he deleted his Snapchat and now he's using Instagram.
Yes. So, the second encounter, I was wondering because there was more to Evan just saying, like, James has asked me to come, stay with him, to come visit him, just to get away because he knows I'm going through depression. Well, there was, some pictures going back and forth, and it was just James, like, just got home, shirtless, and, just laying on his bed, and then he'll just be, like, in his room
That's not
doing,
that
like,
much.
something, angle like this and stuff like that. Just trying to, I guess, look pretty for Evan. So Evan was engaging back with, pictures and, like, Evan just sit here and, like, pull his phone up and be, like, stick out his tongue and stuff like that. Just kind of, trying to, I guess, engage into, like, what James is, like, I guess, trying to get to.
Right.
There was another time that we were in the car, And when I say we were in the car, that's obviously we done. We went to get in the car, go eat, go find something to do, go take some content for him and be done. And every single time, like, that was his go-to person. You got to think that Evan had me, but I'm not a celebrity. The only person he had after losing Kayla that he felt that he would be able to stay in the industry was James Charles. So he had to keep James Charles as close to him as possible. If not, then where would he end up? Nowhere, Like, he would not, there would be nothing out of that. But back to the next car time, there was a message back that James had sent to Evan and says, I have a big surprise for you when you get home. This is after we had left Nashville on the way back to Hendersonville, a local town that we actually are from and live in. So we get back, and little did James know that I actually went home with Evan. And when we get to Evan's house and in his room, Evan message him. They were messaging the whole time anyways. And he lets James know, he's like, hey, I'm like 5 minutes away from home. Okay, so letting James know, get ready and stuff. I don't know what, I was like confused by the surprise. Well, we get to in Evan's room, and then he notices, like, Evan takes a picture of himself and was like, obviously him in his room. And the next picture was James bent over on his bed with his ass up in the air.
Shut up!
And was showing his ass and didn't say anything in the first picture.
Oh!
Then messages like, how do you like that?
He was showing it bare, bro. Oh, hell no. He really spread them cheeks. He really was that down bad. She's a psycho? No, James is just like saying, oh, yeah, she's psycho. She crazy. When you have like a fake ass friend, when you have like a fake ass friend or whatever, right? And they're just like mad talking the homegirl to like make her seem like she's the problem. That way the guy could be like, well, damn, It happens a lot, but not in this context. But James was literally like, hey, you want this? You want this? Ah!
Daddy. Yeah.
I'm smiling because I'm uncomfortable, and I want to also
I'm
reiterate
smiling
James
'cause
is
I'm
26 years
uncomfortable.
old, and Evan is 20 at this point.
Yes,
this
I'm
time.
20. That's correct.
Oh, shit.
No, that's not an illegal age difference, but there's just something so disturbing to me about this being a pattern. But I'll let you continue.
So during that time,
So he saw
I am aware that Evan
the
had
pictures.
previously sent some save photos of, his private parts. And
Sending them dick pics.
I just want to let you guys know that the next picture was like a picture, but it said video, but there was no talking in it. And it just had a caption on it. And James was bent over completely
Oh, my fault.
naked on the bed.
Oh, my fault.
And said, Daddy, I want your big.
Oh!
So that
Oh, he was trying to get
what are you
some.
doing? Because, like, I don't know if you're leading him on or what, but I don't know what you're doing at this time, because it can always backfire on you. So don't do that, like, if that's the case. And he said that wasn't the case, that James come to him.
I guess I'm
So the video was cutting out a little bit, but I think that's because my computer itself was trying to prepare us. It was being like, hey, yo, pay attention. Hey, pay attention. You ain't gonna believe what he just said. Oh, he really said, Daddy, I want that babe. He was feral. He was ready, bro. Oh my god. Oh, he was on heat. Holy crap. Oh my god.
also wondering, in what your role in this was. Evan sharing the snaps with you? Were you looking over his shoulder? Like, how did you see it? Was he kind of showing you and thought it was funny? Like,
So
for
at the
sure,
beginning,
if he
he was
knows
showing the
everything.
snaps and thought I guess it was funny.
like, oh, look, I'm snapping James Charles.
And I'm getting, pictures.
Yeah.
But
I'm getting
as
pictures
time
from
went
James
by,
Charles.
It seemed like
That is not a flex.
the friendship/relationship got very private.
Right.
After it got very private, James had changed the mode on Instagram to vanish mode.
He's been known to do that.
So everything
He's smiling because he got them.
that was getting sent, it would like get sent and be completely gone. A message would go away, yeah, just like Snapchat. So I was like, oh, okay, so there's a lot more. There was one time that
He got those messages
Evan
too
was
from
driving,
James.
and he's like, Zach, can you text James back? And the message I had to send back to James was, I can't wait to see you. That was, word for word that, Evan had me speak and send that because he was driving. And I'm in the
I
passenger
can't
seat.
wait
I'm
to
not
see
wanting to die in a
you.
car wreck. So, like, I was like, okay, yes, I will do that for you.
And in your interactions with Evan, were you guys often drinking together? Was that sort of the nature of your friendship, where you were going out partying?
So it actually started off with us, like, neither one drinking. I'm not a big drinker, like, whatsoever.
For context,
So
it's
it
known
started
that
he
Evans
was
is a big
depressed. And I
drinker.
will speak on the first week, with the Kayla and him, like, splitting ways. He was very, very depressed.
Why?
There was an incident the day that, or the night that Kayla had officially, let things go and came to senses. And I'm so glad she came to the senses to, like, get away from this psycho, the psychopath. But he attempted to commit suicide.
Damn.
I was very scared. No matter what, I'm the type of person, I don't want to see anyone do that. No matter what the actions they're going through, no matter what they have done, I don't want, and I'm not going to condone, like, oh, yeah, go do that, or I'm not going to support you. At that time, I had to support him. And he called me, and he was at his house, and said that I just took a bunch of Xanaxes. And I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, why? So I had his location. I immediately rushed to his house. Well, he wasn't inside of his house. He was literally down the road in his car. And I mean, it was early in the morning. Like, it was later in the morning, like, not 8 o'clock. I would say, like, maybe around 5, or if 4:45, 5. And he was in his car and he was already passing out. I immediately went to his pulse. He had a pulse,
That's scary.
but was, like, not waking up for me, like, whatsoever.
That's really
like,
scary.
Not waking up at all.
Do you know what prompted that?
The breakup.
Yeah.
And when I say, also, I just don't want to say the breakup, deep down, me knowing what the world knows about what Kayla has come forward about, now I do see why, that he went that route, because he kept asking Kayla, like, do you plan on going online? Why, like, can we keep this private? Like, this is going to ruin me.
So his primary concern was her going public.
So many people gonna know your dirty deeds.
Yes. He was not worried about Kayla's mental health. He was not worried about Kayla at all. He was worried about his reputation and if it was going to hurt him or if he was going to get in trouble.
Because he really just started building a following, which was exclusively due to the fact that he was dating Kayla Malecc.
Yes.
Okay, so you were saying there was an episode where he attempted to unalive himself. And how did that end?
It ended with I was rushing to, his location, because it said that it was, like, his house, but it wasn't the exact address. So it makes sense, like, why it was a couple doors down. I don't know if he was planning on going somewhere and the medication had already kicked in. So once I got to him, I already had brought Gatorade. Finally got him awake, kept keeping up with his pulse. At one point when I first got there, I did attempt to start CPR, but it was only because for 10 seconds there was no pulse.
So this is actually, I just got chills because this is the second time I've heard this story, because in Kayla's stories, in Kayla's YouTube videos, she had said that this similar thing had happened where he drank so much alcohol, he lost consciousness, and she had thought that he died and she had to resuscitate him. Very interesting that this happened.
Yeah, it was very scary. It was very traumatic for me.
Call the police, ambulance.
After I got him up, that's the first thing he woke up and he was like, Zach, like, he knew who I was after waking up. I just don't know if I was supposed to start the CPR because obviously, like, he wasn't, like, completely out of it. But once he woke up, he was, delusional a little bit, but he knew who I was. And I planned on to call 911, but he started yelling, do not call, do not go to my parents' house, like, I'm fine. I said, well, first thing is I will drive you back home and you can go in and go to sleep. Like, but I actually sat there for like 45 minutes with him to talk to make sure that he was getting better before I just drop him off at his house and he goes in and something happened to him. So I tried, and he was awake. He was just very drowsy. So I don't know if it just all kicked in and just at one point just kind of like hit him hard. But I refused to let him take his car back. He's like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. He was very demanding that he was fine, that he can handle all of this. And I'm like, for one, like, you just attempted to commit, Yes, I look back and I should have, called, the EMS and 911. But that was, the beginning of our friendship, and it was just, there was just so much going on during all the time. So I was just.
Do you think it could be because he was on probation that he didn't want you to call 911?
Knowing now, it absolutely was, because I was told by Evan that he got in some trouble a while back, and I have known about it because this is like small town. But he told me he got in trouble and that he only had I think it was believe it was like a month left for probation, because I'm the one that actually helped him write his essay for his probation officer.
He's
So
such
I
a good
believe that,
friend.
oh, he's pretty much done. Well,
At this point, I would
let's
just
say
be
that he
like,
lied to me.
I'm done.
He just got put on probation, and I believe he only has served 7 months to this day of probation, and he signed a 4-year probation
He is
deal.
clearly a pathological liar based on everybody I've spoken to. So, I mean, that sounds very traumatizing.
I like how this guy just
even
doesn't
for
like
you
him.
personally, to see your friend, you may think that they passed away and have to resuscitate them.
It was terrifying.
That's scary.
It was very terrifying. I am CPR certified. I have been a lifeguard, in my younger years, for years.
Oh, so he's
and, I actually can teach, upcoming lifeguards get their certifications in the United States and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Through the YMCA. So it was very traumatic, but obviously there's so much, things going around the world now that so much, things are fake. Like, drugs are fake. The majority of stuff has got fentanyl in.
Yeah.
Luckily,
That's very scary.
I believe that he got a hold of something that was either weak of what, the benzo had in it, or didn't only have a certain amount, and it didn't have any fentanyl. Because if it would have had fentanyl, I would have not gotten woken up.
Right. So let's go back a little bit to James Charles' involvement. Would it be fair to say that you felt like the nature of their relationship was definitely sexual?
It was 100% sexual.
And what kind of things did you witness?
So based off of all of the messages of the messaging 24/7, the pictures that I previously did not want to see, but I saw, and the video of him,
Dude sounds like he's tired of it.
and then with the same, obviously that, getting that done. And then I knew it turned sexual because Evan was engaging back, but I felt like Evan just was playing a game, but James was very, very serious. James started the friendship as, I'm here for you, I've been through the same kind of things, I want to give you advice, listen to me. So I had went on my TikTok, because when I say that I stand for Kayla, I stand for Kayla 100%, and I have her back for the rest of my life. She does not deserve what she went through. No female deserves what she went through.
Good guy.
Or anyone in general deserves what, Kayla had went through. It's traumatic. This is something that's going to take years for her. Years. If she ever can completely recover. Which,
that's true.
More than likely, you can't completely recover on these kind of things. So I finally...
Gonna develop PTSD
because
type
obviously
shit.
James Charles has such a huge platform. I was very nervous, but I was I have to do this for Kayla. What I am doing, this is for Kayla and standing out. Because
he might be the biggest social media influencer in the world who's not a traditional celebrity.
Absolutely.
I think that's accurate, 100 million followers.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable if I read some of the messages between you?
Absolutely. But so just a literal of how the messages came about. I posted my first video on TikTok, and not even 5 minutes of my video being posted of me calling James out that him and Evan, were together in California, and that he flew him out. 5 minutes later, James Charles was at Coachella on that Sunday, the first weekend, and he was texting me at Coachella, and I give you permission to go ahead.
Within 5 minutes of you posting that video.
5 minutes.
Damn.
Not. I didn't even have.
This guy is
100
not that
likes
popular, too.
on that video.
That's insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he
Kind of creeped me out.
He must have someone
Mm-hmm.
looking out for these types of videos to see if he can squash them as early as possible, because this is reputation management.
Or
If there's
he's
people
trying
who
to
do
keep
this
an eye on
for
his
careers,
man.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a team just constantly searching for anything and then they flag for video.
That's very true.
So there were some initial messages which we can put on the screen. James said, "Hello, I'm just now seeing these. I'm absolutely not on his side and would really, really appreciate it if he would leave me out of this. I only ever spoke to him because he manipulated me into thinking his situation was similar to what I went through." That's very interesting to me, because James Charles is 26 years old. He's a multimillionaire. He's very successful. I think in a lot of ways, in the way he conducts himself, he's not smart, but he's not a dumb person. The idea that James Charles was manipulated
Oh, my
by
bad.
a 20-year-old boy who can barely string a sentence together in the videos that I've watched, hard for me to believe.
Yes.
When he says he manipulated me into thinking his situation was similar to what I went through, if I'm putting myself in James's mind to understand what he's suggesting, is I think in James's mind he was canceled for something that wasn't true. When he was canceled for
Ooh, he got the
messaging
screenshots,
boys,
bitch.
I think his side of the story is he thought that they were 18, but he did acknowledge that he was messaging 16-year-old boys. So I'm not sure
That's disgusting.
exactly
I didn't know the
how
lore
in
went
his
that
brain
deep.
he's edited history
Ooh.
to make it different than what it was. And then he says it was a really personal and sensitive topic that I had empathy for.
He has the screenshots. What do you mean, sensitive topic that I have empathy for? How can you fucking have empathy for this? Like this, I can have empathy for Kayla, but obviously he don't. He was immediately like, he was so fast to throw her under the bus. He didn't have empathy for her. So why the fuck he has empathy for Evans? What the fuck?
Do you feel like James Charles was
That don't make sense.
assisting Evan because he had empathy for him?
No.
I feel that James Charles was helping him out because he wanted a relationship with Evan Johnson.
A physical relationship.
Physical relationship.
As soon as I saw Kayla's video, I felt
Oh shit, it froze. What the fuck? Or is that just me? Oh shit. Oh, my bad. I don't even remember what part we were in.
Listening and stuff. And then he goes, you know, Evan, like, I'm here, like, for you no matter what. Like, whatever you need. Like, you know, just got home, shirtless.
what your role in this was.
There was an incident the day that, or the night that Kayla had officially the break.
I've heard this story because in Kayla's stories, in Kayla's YouTube videos, she had said that this similar thing had happened where he drank so much alcohol, he lost consciousness.
Waking up of it, I'm fine. I said, well, first
Damn,
thing is,
what part
I
were
will
we at?
drive you
I
back
lost
home,
my shit.
and you can go in and go to sleep.
Right. So let's go back a little bit to James Charles' involvement. Would it be fair to say that you felt like the nature of their relationship was definitely sexual?
It was 100.
Okay, sorry about that.
And what kind of things did you witness?
So based off of, you know, all of the messages of the messaging 24/7, the pictures that I, you know, previously did not want to see, but
The
I
spread
saw,
cheeks.
and the
The
video
cheeks.
of him, you know, in the back, and then with the same, you know, obviously that.
Ready for you,
guy.
daddy.
And then I knew it turned sexual because Evan was engaging back, but I felt like Evan just was like playing a game of my video being posted of me calling James out.
Oh, okay, we were somewhere here.
him
Sorry
and
about
Evan,
that.
you know, were together in California, and that he flew him out. 5 minutes later, James Charles was at Coachella on that Sunday, the first weekend, and he was texting me at Coachella.
Devious work, by the
And
way.
I give you permission to go
Within
ahead.
5 minutes of you posting that video,
Devious
he reached
work.
out to you.
Imagine
I
he
didn't even
actually.
have 500 likes.
Imagine he, like, James Charles was just, like, being compulsive, you know? Like, just going through and searching up anything related to Evans. Because Evans, he has not handled this shit well. Like, he even posted out, like, a video. I'm sorry, I know I'm, like, being all over the place. But he even posted out a video calling out Kayla, saying shit like, it takes two to tango. If I was so bad, then why did she stay? Like, I remember seeing this video. This video is not up anymore, but it was up on TikTok. But he was like, if I was so bad, then why is she still with me? Why did she stay with me for so long if I was so horrible? And some people were like, T, and I was like, that's disgusting. Obviously, you guys don't know anyone who's like a DV survivor, because a DV survivor takes at least, on average, 7 attempts for them to finally leave their abuser, you know? Like, that's a horrible
Sentence
take.
together in the videos that I've watched. Hard for me to believe.
Yes.
When he says he manipulated me into thinking his situation was similar to what I went through, I'm putting myself in James's mind to understand what he's suggesting. Is I think in James's mind, he was canceled for something that wasn't true. When he was canceled
Which is
for
crazy.
messaging
He's the
underage
Lulu.
boys, I think his side of the story is he thought that they were 18, but he did acknowledge that he was messaging 16-year-old boys.
The
I'm not sure
Lulu.
exactly how in his brain he's edited history to make it different than what it was. And then he says it was a really personal and sensitive topic that I had empathy for. Do you feel like James Charles was assisting Evan because he had empathy for him?
I feel that James Charles was helping him out because he wanted a relationship with Evan Johnson.
A physical relationship.
Physical relationship.
As soon as I saw Kayla's video, I felt disgusting and awful, and I've stopped responding to him altogether.
I don't believe that.
Now, to me, that's interesting because we've obviously had private conversations. We've spoken extensively to Kayla. And the biggest thing that I wanted to understand before I was deciding if I really wanted to do a deep dive and look into this case is there definitive proof that James Charles knew that Evan Johnson was an abuser and then pursued a sexual relationship with him afterward? Because that's the most concerning aspect of it all. And from speaking to Kayla, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was a situation where James Charles had wanted Evan Johnson and Kayla Malecc to do a promotional material for his painted company for Valentine's Day, kind of having them be a couple of some kind, probably for his blush launch or something like that. Looking back, that's obviously a little bit creepy because knowing that the entire time he was interacting with them, he wanted Kayla out of the picture and he's really the one that wanted Evan, that's already a little bit bizarre.
Yes.
So then James had reached out to Kayla and said something along the lines of, are we still good to do this Valentine's Day project? And Kayla said, oh, so funny, actually, we literally just broke up yesterday. Evan did some of the worst things a human being could ever do to someone to me, abused me, explained the situation, and then James...
Damn, why does my shit keep freezing? I'm so sorry.
So James came back after she said that and was like, can I have him now? Kayla thought he was completely joking.
Shut the
literally
fuck
thought
up.
her best friend, which
Shut the fuck up. No fucking way he said that. He literally said that to her. That's fucking insane. Disgusting shit. Disgusting shit. Oh my god. What are you talking about? What are you saying? This is... There's a video of Kayla going and saying, I told James over the phone that he said and did some of the most horrible things that someone that you love, some of the, just like, you know, she went into detail. She, not big detail, but she told him that she was being abused by him, both verbally and physically. That response is not normal. That response is not normal. That is disgusting. Like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Just, you know, like, oh my god. Horrific. Horrific. Horrible. Disgusting. There's no words for that. That is. I can't believe he said that. That is crazy.
Was just joking with her, saying that.
That is not a
That's
joke.
already like a really inappropriate joke.
Yeah, that's
Even if it is, but little did we know he wasn't joking at all.
no.
So that's where I'm concerned because also, regardless of that, Kayla had already posted a live and people were discussing Evan Johnson being an abuser. It wasn't as clear, it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. But if the public knew, James knew.
Yeah.
And obviously James knew because he's admitting to helping him. What were you helping him with? You were helping him with these accusations. So James knew.
Yes.
That's a fact. The only question is he either didn't believe Kayla or he didn't care. Which one do you think it was?
He didn't care. James didn't care.
Yeah.
He saw that, you know, Evan was good looking. He thought, you know, he obviously even told Evan, like, you're everything that, like, I look for in a guy. You have abs, you work out, you take care of yourself, you're super tall, and, you know, you're a man.
He said Evan's everything he looks for in a man.
The bar is on the floor. Because if that's it, the standard's in the floor. The bar is in the floor. There is no standards. All he listed, oh my god. I want a man that works out and takes care of himself. The bar is on the floor. That's crazy. Look at the disgust on this guy. He looks visibly disgusted. I love that. I love that. That's crazy.
Abusive, manipulative, pathological liar.
Right.
So on, yeah.
10 years old, I guess. That's what James looks for. So the other thing that he added was he's obviously manipulating and lying to everyone. I should have never spoken to him, but you were in the car with him, so I don't think it's fair you're making a video accusing me of being some monster when he had you convinced too. I want to let you comment on that, but the reason why that bothers me is that you were friends with Evan and you didn't know Kayla. So
Right.
that's where this dynamic is interesting because you have the victim and you have the abuser. You were friends with the abuser, and when you found out, you still sided with the victim, Kayla, and stood by her. He was friends with Kayla. He was friends with the victim.
Yes.
And he didn't believe her and then circumvented their entire friendship to go behind her back and pursue a physical relationship with this person who did awful, unspeakable things that we can't even say or
Disgusting.
this video would get banned.
Yeah.
Snake.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's just, I mean,
Question.
it's sickening to know that he, you know, went to that point, and I'm also getting a lot of, you know, messages of saying, why didn't you come forward, or, you know, how do you guys
Yeah.
know that, you know, James wasn't manipulated just like I was? And like, again, I want to clarify. I started being friends with Evan as hanging out with Evan in January. I have known of him. I did not know Kayla whatsoever. Like, when I say whatsoever, at all. So I was only hearing one side of the story, which was Evan's side of the story.
And you didn't even know her as a public figure.
No. My nieces, I guess, had watched her after I brought it up. But, like, I never, you know, I'm sure I've probably seen her on my For You page, but
Yeah.
I just never really engaged in, you know, into that content. Which, going back, I wish I had, because she makes amazing content.
Aw.
Right.
I don't even
You
know.
also
Like,
added, okay, I'd really appreciate it if you could take down your videos until we have an opportunity to talk.
damn.
Again,
Look at
if
that
you can respond to
essay.
your messages. He was at Coachella while this was happening. Why do you think he wanted to speak on the phone with you?
I feel that his goal was he wanted to get me on the phone, because obviously it's harder to get receipts.
Yeah.
And I was nervous by, you know, like, oh, am I going to take a phone call with James Charles? Like, because I'm here for Kayla. I'm standing up for Kayla this whole time. Why, after me confronting, you know, him and, you know, putting this on the internet, why should he deserve a phone call from me? I never did take the phone call, but I feel that in some type of way he was going to tell me to keep my videos down and offer me a certain amount of money. I have known that James is known to do that. Because why I say that is, why would he come back in a message and say, can you take the videos down until we have a chance to talk?
I have no doubt in my mind that James would spend a large sum of money to prevent this story from
Offered
being
Kayla
exposed to the public. Because
$250,000,
that's
a
how influencers
$250,000.
make their money off their reputations and this idea that you know them when you really don't, and you have these parasocial relationships, and that's why it's so hard sometimes to not go after people, but it's hard to hold people accountable because
Yeah.
people, and young people specifically, and he has a very young fan base of young girls. That's primarily his demographic, which is why it's so alarming. And I think that people have a right to know the human being behind the camera.
And to be fair, when they're young, like I mentioned this yesterday, right? How I used to watch Shane Dawson when I was younger. And my frontal lobe wasn't fucking developed at all. Like Shane Dawson used to make these disgusting jokes. Everywhere from necro, to to making jokes about like with animals, like racist jokes. He used to do blackface, bro. Like he used to make like jokes about children being overly, like they were bad. They were horrific. And I watched him and he was so popular, but I didn't understand what the fuck I was watching when I was a child. Like my frontal lobe was not that developed. Like it was not, I wasn't understanding what I was consuming. And that was blatant in my face. And I'm sure other people probably might have had the same, like the similar experience. Because after I kind of grew out of, not grew out of him, but like decided to watch other channels. And then when I came back and kind of watched some of his videos, I realized how disgusting it was. Like I realized how like despicable it was. And I was like, I can't believe I watched that as a child. And that's in your face. That's blatant in your face. Now imagine like little kids having to deal or watch content of James where this is not really like in your face kind of situation. It's not like blatant in your face. Like it's still horrific. It's still horrific nonetheless, but like his audience is primarily little children. It's primarily children. Children, their frontal lobe is not that developed. They don't fucking know. Like people are dumb. When you're a kid, you're fucking dumb. Like you are dumb. You don't understand. So you don't understand half of the craft that you're like watching. I didn't even know. So I can understand why he still has a platform, but it's crazy. It's crazy to know. Oh Lord.
I'll just quickly add as well, there was one final message which I believe you didn't respond to, and he did say that you were telling the truth here. He said, I
We got
originally
the
did
receipts.
tell him he shouldn't respond because he's a fucking dumbass and would never be able to defend himself. He's not just a dumbass, he's an abuser who almost unalived someone. Yeah, sure, continuously devaluing the situation. Coachella is my busiest time of year, so my DMs are insane. I genuinely didn't see them. I got tagged in your video on TikTok, and that's how I saw them and responded back immediately. I really appreciate you reaching out. I wish I would have seen them sooner. I'm really sorry he treated you like shit. He definitely needs help from professionals.
I'm really sorry he
I think
treated you
James
like
needs help
shit.
from professionals, and I
Yes.
think Evan needs to be in jail.
That's exactly how it should go.
Yeah.
Kayla deserves justice. Evan needs to be locked up for a very, 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 very long ass
Crazy.
time. And James needs a lot of help. And when I say help from professionals, I think that maybe
Yeah.
he was meaning himself. No,
The
he wasn't meaning
irony of
himself,
it all
but
is crazy.
deep down, he should read that message, and I think he needs to go get help.
So can you tell me about the weekend that James Charles and Evan Johnson spent together?
Yes, absolutely. So I was the only person that knew that Evan was going to LA and that James was flying him out to LA. So
Oh, wow.
it was a very last minute thing. James continued to beg, like, come to LA, like, we can have some fun, we can hang out, hang around the house, like, we can just, chill. But I think it's just best that you can come out here and, get your mind off things, which didn't sit right with me because I was there for Evan every single day through all the hard days and saw some of the most like disturbing things for the simple fact that I had to pretty much save him, So, very last minute, he goes to LA. Flies to LA. I dropped Evan off at the airport. By any chance, do you have that date written down?
I do. I believe it was February 28th.
February 28th, he
And
flew
do
out.
you have his boarding pass?
Yes, I do.
I did verify everything that you said. So we have his boarding pass and folder, and he was flying from Nashville to Burbank.
Yes, correct.
You dropped him off
At B&A Airport.
and picked him up.
Yes, and picked him up. So during the time of him at LA, he had posted on his story a few, I think it was 1 or 2 snaps. I believe it was 2 snaps.
Evan, just to clarify, Evan had posted on his
Yes,
story.
Evan had posted on his story.
Which we do have here. Okay, so Evan had posted on his story these photos.
Yes, can I see that?
No.
Okay, so yes. So these photos right here. So this one is him just saying, "What's up, Snap?" I mean, Kayla had already called on but did not have proof. She, during this time, was like, the trees, you know, like, obviously, like, she's been to James's house. Like, it's not hard to notice, like, what's in the backyard. This one is right here. He posted also on his story.
He tagged the neighborhood. It's a small neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can see, you know, where it says of like where it's exactly at. But he says gonna do a little photo dump. The reason he had to do a
Wow,
photo
he's
dump,
so
and I was well
dumb.
aware
Oh
of
my
why he had to
God.
do a photo dump, was for he couldn't post any more content. Like he had to just post like what was saved in his memories on Snap, just so he could continue to make money on the creator fund of Snapchat. So then he
He's
goes
so
working on
dumb.
something
Oh my
special.
God.
There was nothing special he was working on. If anything that was special that he was working on, I would say, I guess, working on James. And the only reason of that is during the stay, we were in contact. He actually FaceTimed me. He was Snapchatting me there. But there was a text message that Kayla had messaged James and said, you know, crazy question around the lines of crazy question, but by any chance is Evan with you? James plays dumb and he goes, Evan, question mark? And she's like, my ex, Evan. And then he comes back and James comes back and goes, why would I be with Evan? Evan was sitting right beside James.
What the
James was
hell?
literally lying to Kayla, which should have been his best friend.
I mean, you know.
This is already makes you a shitty friend.
Yeah.
If there was no abuse involved in the situation, for you to go behind your girlfriend's back and then swoop in and steal her boyfriend that's 6 years younger than you, that's already something that's very morally questionable, at the very least, if we're being generous. When you add any abuse allegations and layer that into the psychology of what James was really doing, it's very disturbing.
Sorry, so I just now realized that my TikTok, the TikTok side got shut down because as you can see, this is a very heated topic and James Charles does not want this shit out. And things kind of surrounding this for some reason, oh so sorry I hit the mic, things surrounding this for some reason just gets taken down really freaking easy. And I just became aware that TikTok stream, my stream on TikTok, just got turned off. Probably because of this. But well, we're gonna keep watching though, because we're still streaming on Twitch and on YouTube, so yeah. But you know, to be fair, I don't think James Charles attacked my stream or anything like that. I think his team is in the talks with TikTok in order to be able to take down things like this. Because if you saw in the beginning of this video, the title was James Charles is doing, you know, it took down the full interview video on YouTube. So, I'm not surprised and or shocked that TikTok is also like, we don't want any part of this drama either. So, very sad, disgusting shit, vile.
Tell me to keep my videos down and offer me a certain amount of money. I have known that James is known to do that. Because why I say that is, why would he come back in a message and say, can you take the videos down until we have a chance to talk?
I have no doubt in my mind that James would spend a large sum of money to prevent this story from being exposed to the public that's there. Because that's how influencers make their money, off their reputations and this idea that you know them when you really don't, and you have these parasocial relationships. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to not go after people, but it's
that Evan was going to LA and that James was flying him out to LA.
Which is crazy.
So it was a very last minute thing. James continued to beg, like, come to LA, come to LA. Like,
I can't imagine that. Imagine somebody being like, I don't know, paying everything. That's just insane. Well, not even paying everything, but like for a booty call. For a booty call, you know? Just knowing everything. Just, Oh, damn it. This video is not working anymore. It's like completely just like. What number were we on? I don't even know.
Videos down and offer me a certain amount of money. I was there for Evan every single day through all the hard days and saw some of the most like disturbing things for the simple fact that I had to pretty much save him, you know? So, very last minute, he goes to LA. Flies to LA. I dropped
So stupid.
Evan off at the airport. By any chance, do you have that date written down?
I do. I believe it was February.
Charles got a big booty.
February 28th, he flew out.
Do you have his boarding pass?
Yes, I do.
I did verify everything that you said. So we have his boarding pass and folder, and he was flying from Nashville to Burbank.
That's crazy.
Yes, correct.
You dropped him off
at BNA Airport.
and picked him up.
Yes, and picked him up. So during the time of him at LA, he had posted on his story a few, I think it was 1 or 2 snaps. I believe it was 2 snaps.
Evan, just to clarify, Evan had posted on his story.
Yes, Evan had posted on his story.
Which we do have here. Okay, so Evan had posted on his story these photos.
He printed out the receipts.
Okay, so yes. So these photos right here. So this one is him just saying, "What's up, Snap?" I mean, Kayla had already called on but did not have proof. She, during this time, was like, the trees, you know, like, obviously, like, she's been to James's house. Like, it's not hard to notice, like, what's in the backyard. This one is right here. He posted also on his story.
He tagged the neighborhood. It's a small neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can see, you know, where it says of like where it's exactly at. But he says gonna do a little photo dump. The reason he had to do a photo dump, and I was well aware of why he had to do a photo dump, was for he couldn't post any more content. Like, he had to just post like what was saved in his memories on Snap, just so he could continue to make money on the creator fund of Snapchat. So then he goes working on something special. There was nothing special he was working on. If anything that was special that he was working on, I would say, I guess, working on James. And the only reason of that is during the stay, we were in contact. He actually FaceTimed me. He was Snapchatting me there. But there was a text message that Kayla had messaged James and said, you know, crazy question, around the lines of crazy question, but by any chance, is Evan with you? James plays dumb and he goes, Evan, question mark? And she's like, my ex, Evan. And then he comes back, and James comes back and goes, why would I be with Evan? Evan was sitting right beside James, as James was literally lying to Kayla, which should have been his best friend.
And number one, I just want to add, this is already, it makes you a shitty friend if there was no abuse involved in the situation, for you to go behind your girlfriend's back and then swoop in and steal her boyfriend that's 6 years younger than you. That's already something that's very morally questionable, at the very least, if we're being generous. When you add any abuse allegations and layer that into the psychology of what James was really doing, It's very disturbing. And I also just want to add that something that we do also have in our folder, which is very damning evidence, which we will not be putting on the screen because we aren't going to dox where someone lives. But you have a screenshot that we verified, which is a Find My iPhone screenshot of Evan being at James's house on the exact weekend that you're claiming. Do you want to explain why you screenshotted that?
So the whole point was screenshotting that was because prior to Evan leaving out and going to LA, he was like, I'm going to James's huge mansion, like huge. And I was like, is it that big? So once he gets there, it took him a minute, to get to the house. But once he was there,
Is
and
it that
obviously
big?
they did not leave the house whatsoever. I got to looking and I was like, this is not a big mansion. It might be a nice, decent house, but it's not a mansion like Evan was like claiming, because me and Evan would always bet, like just as we would be dumb and just bet money on stupid stuff. So we made a bet that, like, you want to bet? Like, I promise you it's a mansion. So I took a screenshot of it to, like, when he came back, he's like, so, like, it's a nice house, and yes, it's probably a very, very expensive house, and it is, but it's not a mansion. Don't get me wrong, it is nice, but it's not a mansion.
I mean, to be fair,
No, absolutely not. So
it
that's
is
why I took the
Kelly.
screenshot. But we're here now. Like, everything happens for a reason, and I'm so glad that maybe that bet was put in for a reason, because I was able to screenshot that.
Because people feel like you're not telling the truth, but that's really impossible to question that.
Oh, absolutely.
And to your knowledge, what happened between them on that weekend together?
So on that weekend, Evan had Snapchatted me, and he was laying in James's bed, and James's bed, as I can go back and think, is pretty much solid white
Yeah.
comforter, white sheets, white pillowcases, just very, natural. And it was a very large bed.
Being
because
all
Evan
white is not
Stafford,
natural.
like, just woke up. He didn't have a shirt on, and he was literally in James's bed, and he was like, I was literally like, this is the nicest bed I have slept in it. And I was like, oh snap. Well, it took him quite a bit of time, to keep, like, snapping me back, which Evan's pretty good at snapping back. Well, so I had booked a photo shoot, and when I say booked a photo shoot, like, it was all on me. He didn't have to pay anything, because he was planning on getting into modeling after he came back from LA. Well, the modeling shoot was supposed to be Monday morning, and we were supposed to leave Monday morning and get to North Carolina, and it would be that following day, and then he had to come back and go to Miami. So it was like crunching time and stuff. And it was hard for me to even get that date, and I got that date. Well, on Sunday, he messaged me and was like, hey, I'm going to stay an extra night just because, me and James haven't really got to, spend some, like, time together and, like, actually hang out completely one-on-one the whole time. So James ended up, like, changing my flight and all that.
So James basically convinced Evan to stay longer.
Yes, stay till that Monday, and he flew out that Monday.
So was there anything specific that Evan had snapped you in the duration of the weekend you were spending with James?
Yes, so he had snapped me a picture of him and James, and it was late at night because Evan had already told me that they've had to order food, they couldn't leave, they could not do anything because apparently paparazzi would see
No, they
and
would
take
get caught.
pictures, and then it could, like, open a whole, like, thing that doesn't need to be opened up.
Was it paparazzi or was he scared of Kayla?
Probably Kayla, because, I mean, it was definitely probably scared of Kayla. So Evan had snapped me, and it was a picture, and when I say dressed from all the way, like, top to bottom in all black, even with ski masks on, they were literally walking, because they haven't been out of the house, they wanted to go for a walk together. So they went for a walk in his neighborhood together, but wearing literally all black. And I literally, like, snapped him back and was like, what the actual heck are you guys doing? I was confused.
Right.
He goes, we have
like they
to,
were-
because apparently, like, there's people stalking us also. And Kayla and Emma's apparently, like, drove by and been stalking. So, like, they were obviously hiding. James obviously knew what he was doing. He knew it was the wrong. Like, he knew it was sickening. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, but he was trying to protect himself. But he's a dumbass.
Oh. And then after they returned from their trip together, did Evan inform you of anything that happened between them?
Yes. So it took me a lot to get it out, because I was like, Evan, I know the conversations that you guys have had. I've seen pictures. I know you've engaged back. I know the comments that he's said to you, Evan. I was like, what, did anything happen? He's like, no, Like, but it was like a no, like, just yes and no kind of
Like
thing.
a guilty
And
no.
like, just tell me. So later that evening, night, he ended up like wanting to go drink. I didn't really drink that much, and he actually drank and got pretty wasted. So I was like, so what all happened? Like, what'd you guys get to do? Like, what'd y'all do? And he was like, well, all we done was off together.
What?
And I was like, okay. And then he goes, money's money. Made the comment, money is money.
Well, that's
Oh, homeboy was like it's like a little escort without wanting to be. He's like a little escort. He became a little escort. How much did he get paid? How much was it? How much did he get paid? How much did you get paid to be a little sneak a link for James? I'm assuming James paid him. I'm assuming.
a bizarre comment.
Yeah, so I was confused with that. Then shortly after, where he was so drunk, there is, let's just say, something on his phone, and they did have sex.
So Evan had gotten drunk and then showed you on Snapchat or on his phone. There was like a quick clip.
Yes, it was a very quick clip, and it was actually on Snapchat in his memories, but it was saved as camera roll for some odd reason.
And you believe this video depicted James Charles and Evan Johnson having sex?
Oh yes, 100%.
Why would they
can
record
hear
that?
100%. It was
What
honestly.
did you hear in the video?
So in the video, you could hear James calling Evan daddy and moaning. Very, very disturbing. I still, like, me thinking right now, I can picture it still. Something I was like, oh, I was not expecting that. But when Evan comment back, money's money. So allegedly, I mean, I'm sure there was lots of money involved.
So you do believe that James had paid Evan?
I do.
Some way? For me, it's interesting because whether or not you pay someone directly, like a Venmo or a bag of cash, you're still paying for his flights, paying for his food, possibly buying him things. He was obviously going to pay Evan and Kayla in the sponsorship that they were going to do for his business. So there's sort of vague ways to do that, but at the end of the day, you're still exchanging sex for money, especially when you're coercing someone who I believe to be straight.
As far as I know, his sexuality, Evan was straight.
Right.
Was straight, yeah.
Because obviously it exists on a spectrum, but for the most part, he operated and identified as a straight man, which is actually James Charles's type, which introduces some issues with consent because you're approaching people and trying to coerce them to be in a relationship with you. And like Tati said in her By Sister video, crack their sexuality like an escape room. That's not the way that you should engage with people.
No.
And I also just want to add, in our research, we have some reports that weekend that they had spent together, James Charles had posted on his Instagram story that he was cooking pasta or something, and maybe if someone sees this video, they have a screenshot they can share with us.
Yes.
And then also baking cookies, which is interesting because he's known to not really cook. To me, it's just icing on the cake because there's something so predatory about that. It's almost reminding me of a fairy tale.
Cooking for
and
his
someone,
daddy
like a witch in the
afterwards.
forest is like cooking up cookies to lure the kids in to her house. Like it's just fun to add that.
Yes.
So I also just want to draw attention to a snap that you took a photo of in which Evan messaged several people, including you,
Oh, wow.
alleging that Kayla was lying, that he's actually the victim, and bragged that James Charles was on his side, giving him guidance on how to navigate the situation. And what prompted that entire conversation was Kayla going live and alluding to the abuse. Is that correct?
That is very correct.
I just want to include that as just further evidence.
Yes.
Really quickly as well, you had also said that you believe that James had invited Evan to Coachella.
Yes.
What a
So,
little-
I was aware that I was witnessed the conversation of James saying that he's going to the first weekend of Coachella and that he buys his team or something, so many people, I don't know if it's a sales team or what, an artist wristband for Coachella. Well, he had bought Evan one. Obviously, Evan hadn't received it in the mail. I don't know if he was going to fly him there and give it to him. But the plan was for Evan to go to Coachella, and he was going to have an artist band. But the only thing is like, you know, Evan was a little like nervous because he was like, more likely, like, you know, Kayla's gonna be there.
Yeah.
And it was going like back and forth, and then James is like, they're trying to figure out how to work it out. But what stopped that
Like,
is
don't go.
Kayla come forward to the world with her YouTube videos of 1 and 2. So obviously, you know, James was not going to take him to Coachella then, because
Right.
that would be insane.
So it wasn't enough for James to just have been told privately from someone who was his friend for years that this person did horrible things to me. It was when it became public that it became an inconvenience to him, and
Why
he was
would he even want
willing
to
to
like show
separate himself
off
from Evan when it
Evans?
was a risk to his reputation.
Yes, it literally had to be public for James to, you know, oh no, we can't do this and that. James is sick. He is a sick guy. He needs very much help,
Yeah.
and this is something that the whole world needs to see.
In terms of your journey of discovering that Evan Johnson was an abuser, there was also something that happened specifically within your family, if you wanted to speak about that.
Yes, so it took the time for Kayla to come forward of her videos, and I have a cousin that is locally from, you know, an area, and I don't want to, you know, name the name just because it's considered private just right now until Kayla gets the chance to talk to her. But
That's crazy.
Evan had a apartment with a roommate in Hendersonville, Tennessee, when he caught his previous charges at the beginning. My cousin was hanging out with him. They were never dating. They were more as like just, you know, friends, but like kind of in a talking stage. Well, she finally come forward to me and reached out, and I had my aunt texting me saying like, you need to stop hanging out with like Evan. Like, this is like a big thing. Stop. She reached out to me and finally let me know that Evan, you know, was an alcoholic and he did drink a lot. But one of the nights she got really drunk and she was ready to, she wanted to go home. And he was like, you're not going home. She goes, I have a friend that can come pick me up. He goes, no, your plans, you plan to come over here to hang out with me and to plan to drink, but
Oh my god.
you are staying now. Not should, but you are staying now. So he made her go to his room and like lay down. So Evan comes in there
What
shortly
the hell?
after and starts touching her. And, you know, and he was drunk. And she just kept telling him, stop touching me. I don't want to be touched. Like,
Oh
I
my
just want
god,
to
that's
leave.
so sick.
Like, and she said she couldn't fall asleep. Well, shortly after that, she's not going to claim the R word because obviously she was drunk and under the influence. Like
She
told me.
should.
But
She
he
should.
did-
Hello? That's where you should. That's so inappropriate. What? What? She's not gonna claim the R word. That she was. What? That's. He deserves a little. Sorry, I was smacking this. What the hell? That's actually insane. Oh my god, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. That is vile. That is vile. Oh, dude, imagine the mind fuck. Holy crap. Imagine the actual mind fuck. Oh man. He must be feeling all sorts of ways because that's family, man.
did
Take advantage.
take advantage of her to have sex with her. And that's been really hard to like know. And just knowing I was hanging out with Evan this whole time, and this happened also like to my family, like my cousin, like my cousin I'm really close to.
And it's possible he has even more victims than just your cousin and Kayla. So I think the last question that I kind of wanted to ask you is, looking back on your journey from going from friends with Evan Johnson to then standing by Kayla's side, what have you learned?
I've definitely learned a lot more about manipulation. I have never really experienced manipulation, so like I was not aware of like, oh, like I'm being manipulated, he's lying to me kind of thing. And based off, you know, what I experienced and went through with Evan, and then also like seeing what Kayla went through, with Evan and also other people,
Dots were
like the
connected.
manipulation is real. And now I'm like understanding how you can like pick up a little quicker, definitely. And a big thing I do want to speak on is the reason that I did come forward and go against Evan is because there is not many men in this world that will sit here and take up for the victim. Men don't speak up. And I think
True.
that's something that we need more in the world. And this is why I'm here today, because I feel that this is something really big, just not on one aspect. Obviously, this goes, like you said, it goes deep. There's several different things to this story, and more men need to like be comfortable enough, to speak up. So that's why I'm here today, to know that just because like I was friends with Evan, if he done something wrong, and since he did these terrible things, absolutely I'm gonna speak against him.
W.
Zach, thank you for speaking with me.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me, of course.
Wow, W interview. That was so good. Holy crap. Oh my god. I that was a lot. That was a lot. So once again, I guess James Charles just goes to show and likes to demonstrate to people over and over again that he's just not a good person. He's a sick individual, which is that this is foul. This was very foul. Um just crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know. That's a lot to unpack, but like I said, W video, W interview, good for that guy. Like I forgot his I already forgot his freaking name. Damn, I'm not good with names. I'm horrible with names, but this guy right here, white cardigan, that's a man. Holy shit. You know that song was like, "No man, oh man, no man." That's a man. Oh my god. I mean, he is right. It's sad. A lot of men don't really, well, I don't want to say men. It's just people in general. There's not that much awareness of it because it's a horrible ass topic. It's very uncomfortable and people don't want to talk about uncomfortable topics, but a very well done interview. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this interview with me and sitting down and kind of just like dealing with me as we are watching this because crazy interview. I wanted to know y'all's thoughts and stuff, but yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me. I really enjoyed it. I think next stream I'm gonna go live again and in a bit. I want to do my homework. I want to do my homework. I'm gonna do my homework, tuck in my mom, and all that good stuff. But I'm actually going to come back on stream, so that we can watch Kayla's videos. I know, how long is that bitch's videos? Hold on, we're gonna go see Kayla. Kayla, is that her name? Malecc story. He Doesn't Love You Part 1. Oh crap, He Doesn't Love You Part 2. 2 hours long? Damn. Oh, his video is back up. Hell yeah. Good deal, dude. Good deal. Has anybody seen this? Has anybody seen like this 2 hour video? Is it graphic? I might. Oh man. Well, I'm already banned on freaking. Well, not banned. I'm already restricted on TikTok. We're restricted until the 11th because, of course, my ass couldn't stop saying some foul things. I have a sailor mouth. But it's hard, okay? It's hard not to cuss people out when you know they're like shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard not to say crap about them. And I don't care. I will cuss out whoever the fuck I feel comfortable saying because honestly, fuck you, James. Fuck you. I forgot his name too. Evan. F you too, man. You suck. You suck. You can suck James Charles shit-filled ass. Both of you guys suck ass. Both of you guys suck dirty, nasty crumbs of ass. Of like shit-filled ass. Golden nugget ass. I hope you enjoyed that ass full of golden nuggets. Chocolate nuggets. Cause anyway, like I said, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna stream again after I finish my homework and also tuck in my mom. Or I'll just put it in like a vote thing. I'll ask some people to vote later today in 20 minutes. I'm gonna like put that up in my thing. We might watch it. We might watch the video tomorrow. More than likely we're probably gonna have to watch it tomorrow because I forgot I'm on call for work. So that means I have to get butt up early. Dang, I really want to watch these 2 videos, but they're 2 hours long. They're 2 hours long. We'll watch that shit tomorrow. We will watch it tomorrow. We'll watch part 1 tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll watch the other one. We'll watch this one, part 2. I might watch this one on Wednesday. So I can watch something else that's a bit more fun and cozy on Tuesday. Or who knows. But this is crazy. 1 month ago, 6.6 million. 3 weeks ago, 3 million. I can't believe this guy, Be Better, he only got 470,000 views. I mean, still a lot, right? But still, can't believe he only got that. Wow, there's a lot. I think it was in this video, like people clipped it and she said that she was going to court with Evans on May 7th, which is my birthday. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Thank you so much. W interview, very good. He did a really good job.